Hey guys, Google Cloud Run is pretty damn cool, but also it has a lot going on. It's very easy to make one wrong setting or just read the documentation for way too long. And the worst part is that if you ever get stuck, then your only help is some guy on YouTube with a 2-hour long video writing cryptic build instructions. But let's just see what kind of project we have. It is a very, very simple Hello World API written in Go. There's really nothing going on here. Even if you don't know Go, you probably know what the heck is going on. We have nothing but Go as dependency, and all we do is we download the dependencies, then we run the server. Sure, but how do we run it on Google Cloud Run? So, you have two options, but right now we are going with the container option, which is both going to be more general and more customizable. For Go, you might just run the binary, but for other languages, you definitely would want to make a Docker file. But even for Go, for greater customization, a Docker file is recommended. And all we have here is that you have to have a Google Cloud account, and you can organize your backends in various projects. So currently we're looking at the tutorial here. So we're going to deploy a container. We can also connect repo, but let's just deploy a container service. I've not turned on any other settings. Okay. So you would need to add a billing account, which you can manage. And also you will need to turn on Artifact Registry API, which is where we are storing the Docker images. And also we need to enable Cloud Build API. Cloud Build, Google's continuous integration and continuous delivery platform. But in order to proceed, because we will be using cicd from GitHub, we would first of all need to push to repo. So we successfully initiated this project. And for the sake of simplicity, I will be continuing with my account that already has enabled billing. And all we would need to do is click on GitHub, set up with Cloud Build, which we enabled. Service name can be anything. I guess we can name it tutorial. And set up with Cloud Build. Yeah, we just need to select the correct repo. So we have Go Cloud CI/CD example. Yep, I enable it and understand it. Next. In this case, we have two options. I guess you can go with build packs or Docker file. And essentially here we are setting up a trigger. So every time we push to main, Google Cloud would get our code, rebuild the Docker image, and, or shall I say container, and of course make it the current version. So in this case, we are using a Docker file. So we're just going to be selecting that. We're leaving it default. I would also heavily encourage and recommend to you that you use default options wherever you can. So let's just save. And this will be set up. If we went with the artifact registry option, then we would need to select the specific image, which does work, but obviously we wouldn't have cicd, which is important. And let's suppose in this case we will allow an authenticated invocations. Apparently I can speak. Request-based is important, especially if you're starting out. And this kind of depends on the languages you use. So request-based should be really cheaper, but also some languages could have really long cold starts. So the server is not running constantly. It is just kind of spinned up on demand, and then it stays active for a while. So we have this site, for example. This is for AVS Lambda. I'm just using it to demonstrate typical cold starts here. So you might have Go at 50 milliseconds, then you have Rust at 15 milliseconds. So it's not super relevant here, but suppose you use the C# or Java, or even Ruby, or basically anything that is not Rust or Go or C++, which you normally not use. You might have to care about cold starts. And you might set the number of instances to 1 in that case. But let's just keep going. So we allow everything, containers, sure. We're just leaving everything at default. And because of how efficient Go is, we can just go with 128 megabits. So we pay less. And that is it. But keep in mind that if you're using other languages, that you probably at least want 256 or possibly the default half gigabyte. And after finished building, we can just look at the tutorial and Google Cloud Run and the revisions. It is important that you are selecting the latest version, I suppose, because as far as I know, the first build happened with a placeholder and the second one is legit. And we can peek at the image in the artifact registry. But perhaps more importantly, we might want to check out the build logs. This is where you want to eyeballing if something is going wrong. Of course, if we click on the link, then it should work perfectly in this case. Hello world. But just to make sure that the CI/CD works, let's say hello guys. And if we navigate to the correct route on the artifact registry, then we can see that the container is being rebuilt. And we automatically deployed the new version. We can use it. All the traffic is redirected to it. And we can check it. I'm just gonna say, hello guys. So if you want to, you don't need to be a master of gcloud CLI, nor need to write long configuration files, which could be a good choice if you plan to reuse it. But one off, it's a little time consuming and error prone. You can just press GitHub, click OK, and you're good to go. So that's it. It's easy if you do it right.